Welcome everybody to a October 12th gold analysis by Gift. We'll get caught up on the moves, try to anticipate certain moves, look at the fundamentals, look at the technicals, and basically try to get going with gold. Oh, what's up, throwbacks? Thanks for joining in. Been a while. Sorry about that. We took a little hiatus too, but we'll be back. We'll put up some social media posts too. And yeah, King James did take it. He did take it. But I'm just going over a gold analysis right now. Thanks for joining in. Would like your input. Um, by the way, your Bitcoin went up quite a bit too. I was looking at that earlier. Let's get on with the gold analysis here. So I found out watching different videos and just analyzing over last week the quarterly time frame. This is a quarterly time frame, and as you can see, it's been a strong trend up. This next quarter, I'm actually anticipating a wick fill, or even like halfway for a wick fill. So like buys on gold. Champion, glad to be back. Yeah, well, you were missing. We were streaming a few days last week too. We were wondering where you were. I think we mentioned it a few times on stream. I was gonna send you a DM today on Twitter and ask and apologize. Ask for you to show up for the next week. We're gonna be back to regular scheduled programming, but we'll have that up on our social media posts. But yeah, look at the quarterly here. You have this breakout, which has been nice. A nice little rejection from the highs over here. The election month is coming up too. So with election month coming up, I feel like there's going to be a lot of volatility and uncertainty in October, especially early November. So that's going to be interesting to watch. But the quarterly time frame has shown bullish momentum, and honestly, ever since like October 2018, look at that big gain from 1300 to 2000. That's a huge gain. Recoup your. Here's the monthly now. As we can see, monthly is sold off a little bit, found a support, had a nice liquidity grab, push on up. So we're gonna gauge how it's doing monthly, but we're gonna mostly play intraday. It's gonna be tough to get like longer term moves, especially with elections coming up. It's going to be interesting. But if we take a look at the monthly again, bullish move up, little sell off. Sells are going to be when it flips at 1885. If this flips bearish, we can see a nice little wick fill, about 400 pips. So we're going to keep an eye on the monthly. It's still early in the month. Got like 3 weeks left. So it'll be pretty interesting how that turns out. I am anticipating for it to be bullish. Obviously, I am pretty bull on gold, especially with elections coming up. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of uncertainty. If we look at the weekly, we had this sell-off near the end of September, with a nice push up for the last couple of days of September and the early part of October pushed up, and then even here, first week of October, nice liquidity grab, push up, and now we're back in this wedge that we had. It's an imperfect wedge, but we could see how we could see the trader psychology in this movement right now. We could see a sell-off, uncertainty, still in fear, caused a push up. I think when Trump got coronavirus too, we had the push up too. I was watching it even though we took a little break. We're still watching it. So now we look at this. So we see this support being created right here at around 1860. I'm gonna update this little. That's a nice little support at 1860 right now. Pushed up, created another higher high here, and now it's like on my wedge channel. This is imperfect, obviously. We'll see what happens. Friday, last week we had to push up above the resistance, above the previous wedge support. So right now we're just gonna see how that reacts. The safest buys are gonna be above 1960. Above 1960, you're gonna see a huge wick fill. So we'll keep an eye out on that. The daily right now is looking pretty bullish. Maybe to start the week, depending on news, I'll get that up. Maybe we'll see a little pullback here and then a push up like that. Something like that. Obviously buys are gonna be nice above the highs of the week or when the weekly candle goes bullish. For sells, I think sells are mostly going to be intraday. I do not see the sells being long term. I don't really see any move being long term. The biggest one was the sell off and then the recovery, and now it's just been like intraday movements. Even on Friday, that would have been a nice buy, but that happened during Asian and London session. So we'll see how that is. We'll do an analysis on the dollar index as well, see how it goes. So let's look at the 4 hour now. 4 hour push up. It's 4 hours consolidating over here. It's 4 hour. If it does start going bullish, we'll see it rise up. And obviously there's movement today. It's a holiday in the US and in Canada as well. So there wasn't as much movement. You could tell by how the chart is reacting right now. So with that, it's pretty easy. Safe buys above this area. We'll have this little gold thing here. Safe buys above there. Sells are going to be intraday kind of traffic moves, clean traffic moves. So the sells will be played below here on this line or level. I'll just get a line over here. Sells there, probably play intraday moves, not holding it long term either. So we'll see how that turns out. So even with all this analysis, we got to check out news and see how the news will react or what will happen with the US and what's coming out this week. So we have CPI tomorrow morning. Orange folder, nothing big. PPI, orange folder, 6:30 Wednesday, nothing big. Philly Fed, unemployment claims. Core retail sales on Friday, that'll be a big one, but I feel like the market's going to price it in for the week. So we'll see how that one turns out. I'm expecting another bullish move for the week. Obviously, we're going to be prepared for both sides, but just considering how this daily candle was, kind of like a relaxation, just chilled out candle. Could potentially see buys to 1950s, then to 1960s, and then above those levels over there. So the sells are going to be below the daily here, and I don't think it's going to have enough room to go down, but you can still get a nice 40, 50 pip move here. So we'll be playing that intraday. If we go to the hour, let's just look at the technicals really quick again. We can see this wedge. It broke the wedge, and price had found support down here, grabbed some liquidity, and is pushing up higher here. Central banks, everyone else, they probably took out money for their deficits, sold their gold reserves, get some cash to cover their deficits and heavy spending. And we can see they might have bought back at these levels too. It's really controlled by central banks, and there's a lot of manipulation in gold, as you can tell by these movements as well. But just looking at this chart now, I think I'm going to delete this top line of the wedge. We can see these. That sell was easy because you had lower highs going all the way down. So now we might see higher lows going all the way up. That's one thing I'm kind of anticipating for another push up. So we'll see what happens there. But in reality, we might just be chilling in this whole area here until the elections. So it's going to be quite difficult to trade, but that's why we have our runners and get out certain levels as well. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Try to shorten this up. No, we can't do that. Oh, how far can I get it? I'll go with the 4 hourly. Yeah, that looks a lot better. So the 4 hourly, we're gonna do a 4 hourly planning of our moves. So we're gonna have a break above here. We kind of test this area or this zone right here. And then this is gonna be the safe buys going upwards over there. As for the sells, if it breaks this low over here, we're gonna see a potential sell to this 1910 area, and that is marked by the daily, I'm pretty sure, the previous highs over here. So with the previous highs here, we can see 1910, and then if it does continue to sell off, it'll be pretty simple. Sell to levels, so it might sell off to the 1885 level, and obviously if it breaks 1885, then it'll head lower, depending what the US dollar is doing as well. So let's look at the US dollar real quick, get an idea of what this is doing. Let's look at the quarterly. Quarterly, you can see it's going down, and this quarter does seem like it's going to hit 90.89 for the dollar index. Monthly too, seller, little exhaustion. And now if this starts breaking the lows, we're going to see a huge sell-off. And even the weekly too. If you look at that weekly, starts breaking the lows here, people are moving away from the US dollar and into gold, then we could see a nice rise in gold. So actually just looking at the daily and how everything is forming on the US dollar, I am quite bullish on gold. We want to be ready for both sides though. So that's why we do this analysis, trying to get ready for both sides, get prepared for both sides. So we'll get that in. I'm just going to write everything down now. Let's go with the news here. Stock to throwbacks too. Yeah, recoup your L's. Yeah, trading's been tough. Last little while, but I take a break. I was pretty busy, but we're gonna have posts on getting back to regular scheduled programming, update our blogs, website, get everything in order, and then I actually do want to start our podcast eventually here too. So it's gonna be busy. 6:30 a.m. And then we have PPI on Wednesday, and then we have, damn, there's a lot of news at 6:30 every morning. Let's do that. Oops. There we go. So Wednesday we have core PPI and regular PPI. So that's pretty easy to change there. Thursday, Philly Fed. Whoa. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index and unemployment claims. Friday, I think it was retail sales and core retail sales. 6:30, yeah, everything's at 6:30. So let's try to get that in here. Perfect. Move this a little bit here. Write down the buys. It's going to be safe buys above 1960s area to retest the highs. This will be with uncertainty. Good. More fear. More. I'll just go. This will be with uncertainty and fear in the markets. Potential second lockdown due to a second wave of coronavirus. Let's put COVID. This will require a catalyst to break the wedge highs and market structure. Let's go with that here. So now we got intra week buys, which I'm going to call here. Intra week buys to potentially test 1950s/60s area due to lower time frame bullish structure. Gold will most likely be volatile and choppy. Well, not choppy, it will be volatile. Look for day trade. Well, yeah, day trades and possibly for day trades and a runner. I am bullish bias. I am expecting buys and especially test 1950, but we have the sells down here too. Sells will be played intraday, potentially grabbing liquidity and pushing lower with week up then down. So we'll be playing what the market gives. There we go. And then last thing, I'm just gonna write bullish bias. Bias with the idea that it can sell off as well because previous wedge high was never broken. Higher time frame struck. There we go. So I am looking for buys. This is basically it for the gold analysis. Chad was here. He do the euro analysis. Separate video for that. Obviously, we want to get more pairs done, but we're just gonna keep it simple with euro and gold for now. It's gonna be it. I'll have a blog post on it. I think I might do simulations in a bit here. Try to refresh my trading. Try to really anticipate certain movements with gold. So that'll be done in about 5-10 minutes. I'll get started on that. Just will make a blog post on this. I also have to make social media posts, and maybe I'll do simulations later tonight if I don't get around to it in the next hour. Do want to get the social media post done too, so we'll see how that turns out. I'm gonna delete all this. We all know what I am looking for. I'll have a refresher. The blog post will be up there as well. Trying to keep it clean charts, trying to keep it easy to read. So we'll get on that. Thanks, Throwbacks, for tuning in. Appreciate you coming back here. Hope you join us for the live stream starting tomorrow, regular time, and we'll have a post on that. Post on the analysis simulations we're gonna do, blog posts, etc. Gonna try to keep it more updated after a little hiatus, but thanks everybody. Tune in for the gold analysis video. We'll have a blog post on it, and we'll catch you in the simulation video.